Welcome to another strange brew experience. 5 minutes that could change your life.
Hello and welcome to episode number 3, A Rude Awakening, a Personal Story. I'm 18 years old, a bit of a loose cannon. I think I know something. I might even think I know everything. Quite frankly, I knew nothing. I ran too fast, I talked too loud, I had no peace. I think you get the general picture. It's the 4th of July, and I convinced my dad to have him loan his motorcycle to my boyfriend at the time and myself so that we could take a ride out into the country. After we're out riding for a while, I want to drive. I've never driven a motorcycle in my life, but I want to drive. And like fools, we switch places. I come to a curve in the road. It's very sharp. It scares me. I look in the rearview mirror. He's paying absolutely no attention. Fear grips. I pull back on the throttle. I don't even know where the brakes are. We fly off the road and through the barbed wire fence. Now, barbed wire has a tendency to wrap when it snaps, but through the grace of God, I flew out before I became entangled. However, the damage had been done, and to me only. I had a cracked shin bone, 2 cracked vertebrae, many bruises, many cuts, but the worst of it was that it hit me in the mouth, cut my lip in half, tore at my face, and knocked out some teeth. Now we're going to fast forward. The hospital stay, the initial one, is over. I am at home recovering with bandages all over my face, and my cat is absolutely fascinated with these bandages, and without warning, pounces into my face. Well, I know I'm not going to get any rest this way, so I put my hand over my mouth to protect myself, and to my surprise, I noticed that it feels really good. There is a heat coming out of my hands. I don't know what it means. I don't understand it at the time, but what I do understand was that it felt good. At 18, enduring injuries such as this, I became obsessed with healing. I prayed to God that I would be able to talk right, that I would be able to get some teeth in that looked decent, that I wasn't going to look like a freak for the rest of my life. 5 months pass, and I am scheduled for reconstructive surgery in Minneapolis. The initial doctor in the emergency room in the little town that the accident occurred in had little to no skills for injuries such as mine, although he did his best putting me back together. The results were reflective of that, however. So I find myself face-to-face with a surgeon in Mount Sinai in Minneapolis, and he's very surprised to discover that my injuries were only 5 months old. He thought, in fact, that there had been 5 years worth of healing. It confirmed 2 things to me. 1, that the energy coming from my hands was healing energy, and 2, my thoughts and prayers for healing had an effect. Now we're going to go back in time. I'm about 5 or 6 years old, and I begin creating these scenarios of how I was going to get in a really bad accident, but that everything was going to end up okay so that I could get the attention from my mom and dad. Over and over, I would create these different scenarios of being in a really bad accident, but that I would end up being all right. I would fantasize about how my mom and dad would lavish me with time and attention, tender, loving care, and I just sucked up every last bit of that fantasy in how that they were going to care for their wounded daughter. Well, time passed. I forgot all about it. Now I'm 18 years old. I'm laying in the field, and the flood of memories of these little scenarios came back to me, and I knew right then and there that I had in fact created the situation. The events of that day were a result of my own design. I became aware of the negative and self-destructive thought patterns that were running deep and wild in my mind. There was no love for me, within me. With no love inside, love from the outside world was unattainable. Thus, the long journey to recovery began. It's no wonder that I choose and encourage everyone to create consciously. To wrap up episode number 3, with all the information that is out there today, no one has to have a rude awakening. We just have to awaken. Know your thoughts. love.